What's up, everyone? Derek Sammy here with AGF Performance Training, and I wanted to talk to you all about 3 generic exercises that I see very often people doing for the obliques, and quite honestly, they're very pointless. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to explain why these exercises are pointless, demonstrate the exercise, and then I'll also show you some things you can do instead of these to actually properly train those obliques. Okay, so first of all, the obliques, they run kind of horizontally and down at an angle. The first exercise I see being done for the obliques is this traditional exercise where people just hold a weight in one side and they just do these side bends like that. Okay, sometimes they even take 2 weights and they just bend back and forth, side to side. Again, like I said, that's training the muscles. If they were side bending muscles, they're not side bending muscles. So it makes me very frustrated when I see these people on social media sharing incorrect information with you, the general public. It's our job as trainers to make sure we're educating you all correctly, and it's very irresponsible when there's people miseducating viewers like you. All right, so again, they're rotational muscles. We want to train them from that rotational aspect, okay? Now the second exercise is very similar to this. It's just done from the ground. So people lay on their back here and then do these little side bending heel touches. Again, not doing anything for the obliques. This is just a waste of your time. Both of these exercises, not doing anything, okay? The third one I'm going to show, and the thing with this is there's a way we can modify this to actually make it beneficial, which I'm going to show once I get to the exercises you should be doing instead. But this is just the bicycle crunch. Most times people are just here and they're just going super fast, okay? This second important thing to understand about the core is that the core's main function is to actually control and stabilize. So when you're just going through this core movement super fast like that, you're not getting any work done. Okay, it's important to remember when you're training core, or really any muscle for that matter, to train quality and not quantity. Okay, there's no point in going through 100 reps if there's crappy quality on them. Okay, so we want good form, good quality, and again, I'm going to go ahead now and show you all the options you can do instead of these exercises to actually train those obliques in the correct manner. All right, so before I demonstrate these exercises, I want to make it clear to you all that it's important that you actually program these exercises I'm going to show you into your circuits correctly. So these first 2, we're going to start off on the ground, and I'm going to show you the first variation and then kind of a progression to it. Okay, so our first one, we're going to be on our back. This is an alternating pipe. You can do one side at a time. For more of a challenge, you'll lift the feet. If that's too difficult and you're a beginner, you can keep the feet down. We're going to have this hand back. We're just going to come up to the opposite foot. Again, we're starting to add that rotation of the obliques, and then we're just going up to touch. Our shoulder blade leaves the ground as we lift that right side of the chest up towards this foot. Okay, again, we can lift that other foot off the ground, and we want to make sure we're reaching back with this arm, getting that full range of motion, not cutting the movement short there, so reaching back and then coming up. That's really going to get a good twist here and start to really train them in the correct manner, okay? Now, if you want something a little more challenging, you can go everything hovering off the ground, and you're gonna do a starfish crunch. So you're gonna come up, touch the opposite foot. So now you're starting to add even more rotation to that move, okay? And there's a little bit of core stability here as well as you're trying not to fall forward to let those feet touch the ground. A third thing we can do is come onto the forearms, and now this is gonna also be training the obliques more from a stabilization aspect, okay? So a Spider-Man plank. So the first one is just, you can go here and just tuck. But if you want to turn that up, you can pull that arm off and draw it towards that knee, okay? Now, I talked about the stabilization. That's required because as you come here, your body, you're trying to prevent it from collapsing. So you're trying to keep those hips nice and square towards the ground. Those obliques are having to work and fire up and able to be in order to be able to do that, okay? So tucking, keeping those hips as square as possible to the ground without doing this and rocking side to side. So the main issue I see with those bicycles, as I mentioned, are people going way too fast on them. And as I mentioned, the core's main function is to control and stabilize. The other thing I see being done incorrectly is not getting the full range of movement on the exercise. So for one, a lot of people's legs never go all the way out. The second thing, and this is on a lot of other crunching type movements I see, is people just use the arms, right? So they're just going here and their back, their shoulder blade is never leaving the ground. So they're just cheating the movement by swinging arms side to side. What we want to do instead is keep that arm out here if I'm doing it without the legs moving,
and actually lifting that shoulder blade off of the ground as I come up and across. That's going to give us more of that rotational crunching movement to really target those obliques effectively. So what we can do here is kind of like our alternating pike is a single side bicycle. So feet hover the ground, and again, elbow's going to stay out to the side, and we're going to crunch up and across. Again, I'm not getting here and then cheating the movement by going the rest of the way with the elbow. I'm making sure I'm lifting up and across the whole way and getting that twist and crunch in the right manner. The second thing we can do is what I call an up-down bicycle. Okay, so this is also going to challenge your core stability a little bit to not fall forward or fall backwards. So we're going to be down at the bottom, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, and then sit up, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, and down, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. And as you see at the top, again, I'm not cheating the movement by just bringing the elbow. I'm twisting to come across like that, and really work those obliques the proper way. All right, so now I'll be up to show you those exercises from a standing position that we can do with the weights to effectively target the obliques in a functional manner. All right, so now the standing exercise for those obliques. And these are going to be more so to train those obliques functionally to help stabilize. Those exercises we did on the ground were more to strengthen and kind of like give you that cut look. Okay, now these are going to be, I'm going to show you again here another exercise that is again butchered. So it's your farmer carry. So people will start here with 2 weights that are weighed the exact same, and they just walk, right? Okay, now they're kind of on the path to something correct. Sometimes they also go here and they're leaning way over like this as they walk. Okay, so the 2 issues with that. One, when you're holding 2 weights that are the same weight, imagine just walking like this with nothing in your hands. There's nothing unnormal that your body has to do, right? Now, whether it be in life or as an athlete especially, we're never perfectly balanced, right? Think of how many times you've gone to your car to get groceries after that trip to the grocery store. How many times are the 2 bags you pull out of the car the exact same weight? Never. They're always different. Or imagine walking through the airport with 2 different bags, or having a duffel bag thrown over your shoulder. The whole point is that there's a weight that's heavier on one side, causing your body to want to lean to one side and collapse to that side. So we need to train those obliques to be able to help us stabilize and stay nice, straight, and keep that straight, upright torso, okay? So what we want to do instead, and the other thing is if we're holding this weight here and we're just overshooting it and over-exaggerating it, this way is causing lower back pain. This way is doing the same thing. You're just overcompensating to go the other side. So what we want to do is grab 2 weights that are different weights, okay? So I just have a 25 and like a 17-pound weight here. But ideally, you know, if you're using heavier weights, maybe like a 45 and a 20 or 45 and a 25, something like that. Something a little bigger in weight differential. And what this is going to want to do, the 25 being the heavier one, is going to want to still pull me down this way. So what we want to do is walk, keeping our chest up. The other thing I see is people kind of round those shoulders forward. So shoulder blades back, chest up, good strong posture, engage that core, stabilize through the obliques, and you're just going to walk forward, keeping that nice upright posture without rocking and leaning side to side. Okay, so again, this is going to train it more from a functional standpoint, and there's other ways you can do this as well. To even get shoulder work in, you could bring this weight down, hold one weight up, and same thing, stabilizing, staying nice and tall without collapsing to one side or the other. But this is going to train those obliques to work more in a functional manner. All right, so that's just a few of the exercises. If you're a client of mine or if you've been following me for a while, you've probably seen some of the other oblique exercises that you can do if you want to get that cut look, or if you're looking to train more of that functionality of stabilizing. Okay, there's things we can do from the ground, twisting pistons, those side plank rotations that I was doing the other day. That's a great option if you're advanced for that. And then there's obviously a ton of other offset exercises we can do with a weight, a dumbbell, a kettlebell. And then there's endless possibilities with a resistance band, great for training anti-rotation, which is really going to strengthen up those obliques. But again, remember, they are not side bending muscles. So those moves, I know you're probably going to fitness classes at different places, and some of those moves I demonstrated as moves you should get rid of are probably being taught in those classes and being incorporated into the workouts. But just now you have the knowledge to know better and understand how those muscles actually functionally work. So I hope you use this and can help yourself benefit and help someone else as well. All right, give it a try. Let me know what you think.